In the last lecture, I showed you how to add interceptors. Now, sometimes you don't want to intercept the request, but you want to set up some global configuration. Let's say the URL you're sending the requests to in your application is always the same. So it's always JSON placeholder type I code in our case here, and then slash something. So that starting part is always the same. So it would be nice if we could cut it out here and just send the request to get posts and automatically append this to some common starting URL. Turns out we can do that. In the index.js file, which is a good place because it runs first, it starts the React app, we can use axios and there access the defaults object to set up defaults which are true for all requests which are being sent. And there we can define a base URL. And this URL will now be used, well, as the name suggests, as a base URL to which the other paths are then simply appended. Now with that set up here, whoops, that by the way, important, should be base URL with capital characters here for the URL. Casing is important here. Now we already removed it from get all posts here in the blog container. Now in new post, we can also get rid of it when posting data. And in the full post, there we have two places, one where we get the single post and one where we delete the single post. So we can get rid of that starting URL everywhere. And if you go back to the app, you see it still loads, it still works, everything still works fine here because we didn't really change the way we sent the requests, but we made it a bit easier for us because of that global configuration. Now you're also not limited to just setting the base URL here. You can also access defaults headers and there set a common header. So on that common object of authorization, common headers are simply the general headers which are set for all types of requests. And there you could set this to your auth token if you had one or whatever that is. You can also set headers just for specific request types, like for post requests only, where you maybe want to set the content type you're sending to application JSON, which you don't need to, that's the default anyways, just to show this. So now if you do this, if you go back to the application and you inspect the request which was sent, you will see that under headers, we got the authorization auth token. And for a post request here, if we do that, you will see that there, if we inspect the request configuration, we got the authorization header and content type application JSON. So that's another cool feature of Axios, setting a default configuration which will be used application-wide. Super awesome, helps you to optimize your code quite a lot.